Welcome to the debate on prime time today. Well, we're discussing the Kokborok exams row in Tripura. It was a day of intense protests and activity in Tripura, and we are now being joined by Tripura Leader of Opposition, Mr. Animesh Debbarma. A warm welcome to you, Mr. Debbarma. Thanks for joining us at Northeast Live this evening. I also have with me Mr. Vikas Roy Debbarma, who is the convener of the Joint Movement Committee for Kokborok Language. I'll also have Dr. Sunil Koloy, the Professor of Journalism and Mass Comm from Tripura University, joining me shortly. But let me straight go to Mr. Animesh Debbarma. So first thing that we want to know is that has the strike been called off, has the protest been called off after the assurance and statement by the government, by Minister Sushanta Chaudhary, or the decision is still to be taken? What is the update on that?
Well, the issue of Roman script for Kokborok language was a long pending issue in Tripura. So far, my knowledge goes, the movement for Roman script started way back in 1968 by Tripura or Tripura Student Federation. At that time, it was Tribal Student Federation. They started the movement for Roman script for Kokborok. And this movement was called by TISF, the student wing of 𝗡𝗢𝗥𝗧𝗛, when the board president, TBSC president, made a statement that people who are going to write exam in Kokborok language, they can use only Bengali script. So our argument was, for the last 17 years, Kokborok language was written in both the scripts, Bengali scripts and Roman script. All of the sudden, government taking this kind of decision, we could not accept, and thereby the student organization TISF called for the road and rail blockade. And we have been requesting the government, we have been demanding the government that we are in no mood to agitate on this issue, because it used to be allowed in both the scripts and now also they should allow. So during the blockade today, our leaders, including me, we have appealed to the government that the sooner they declare their stand and clarify the position that Roman script and Bengali script, both the scripts can be used for Kokborok language, will call off our blockade. So the moment on behalf of the government, Minister Sushant Chaudhary came with the statement that the state government has accepted the demand raised by TISF. We decided that we should call off the Bandh. Now the matter to be seen is, it is not only writing in Bengali script and Roman script, also the question papers for Kokborok language to be prepared in both the scripts, because there are students from English medium schools, they can't read Bengali. Our demand was aiming at them. People who are already studying in Bengali medium, they have no problem with Bengali script. So now question papers also to be prepared in both the scripts and answer, as the government says, that both the scripts can be used. So we are happy, we welcome the decision of the government that board will be instructed now to allow the students both Bengali and Roman script.
So the breaking news at this hour is that the strike, the Bandh, the protest has been called off, right? The protest has been called off as far as Tripura is concerned.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now coming
sometime back.
Exactly.
Sometime back, the party chairman Pradyut Kishore Manikya ji has come in the live in his Facebook account, and he has already appealed to all the protesters that we can call up the bandh or strike as the government has agreed for both the scripts.
Absolutely. So the protest has been called off. That's the breaking news at this moment from Tripura. Now, Mr. Debbarma, of course, when Minister Sushanta Chaudhary was addressing the media, also appealing to the protesters to come and engage in discussions, well, the reason that has been given, although there has been no official reaction statement so far, but the reason why Roman script could not be accepted, the reason that had been given was due to logistical, technical reasons. Probably there were not enough evaluators, problem with exam centers. And one thing that the minister also made a mention is that there is a very low percentage of students who are actually opting for the Roman script, probably even less than 10%, probably around 2%. There was no demand for it, and hence the decision was taken due to logistical reasons. What do you say about it?
Well, I think whatever reasoning he has given today, the first thing is they don't have infrastructure to evaluate the answer script. That was their point. Now, our point is, last 17 years, Roman script for Kokborok language used to be evaluated by the teachers in TBSC. How come after 17 years, all those teachers, they disappeared all of the sudden? This cannot happen. And now after the blockade, they have accepted that yes, Roman script also can be used. Now I am questioning them, if they don't have the infrastructure or if they don't have adequate number of evaluators, how they could accept the demand raised by TISF that Bengali and Roman script should be used for Kokborok language. It is not the evaluators' problem. There are thousands of students who passed out with Kokborok as a subject at graduation level, at master degree level. There are n number of people who are qualified to evaluate these papers. So I think the intention of the government was something different, but I don't want to talk about that. Second thing, I think you were talking about the CBSE issue. The minister was talking about that they were waiting for some reply from CBSE authority. There also we have questioned. Our question is, TBSE is not guided by CBSE. TBSE is an autonomous institution. It has got its own power to have any kind of courses pertaining to our state. And as far as Kokborok language is concerned, I think TBSE has got much more knowledge than the CBSE institution. So there is no point that whatever point they say, I think what government must do, and another point what you have mentioned was that very low percentage of students, they write in Roman script. Let there be 2 students on one single student. How can we spoil their career? Even if 5 children, they are writing in Roman script, you have to evaluate. Now again the government statement is very contradictory. One side they are telling they don't have enough numbers of evaluators. Other side they are telling that only minor percentage of the students they use Roman script for Kokborok. So I don't understand. I think the way minister was telling, I don't want to debate on that, but we welcome their decision that they will allow now, the board will allow the students to write in both the scripts.
Absolutely, the last student should be catered to. Mr. Vikas Roy Debbarma, do you think this situation could have been avoided? Do you think this was avoidable, this issue, entire issue was avoidable?
The that situation was created by the president of the 𝗡𝗢𝗥𝗧𝗏. On 29th of January, he held a meeting with all the examination center in charges of 8 districts. And the news of that, the matter transacted in that meeting, somehow that had been published in one daily newspaper on the next day, that is on 30th. And it was stated that no student will be allowed to write the answer paper in Roman script. And if any student is found to write answer sheet in Roman script, an affair will be lodged against him, and also a strict action will be initiated against the examination center in charge. So when this statement came out and published in local daily newspaper, so uproar started. And also students organization, different NGOs, those who are concerned with literature and language, they have also raised voice. And lot of deputation,
of course,
has been given to the
why do you
president.
think? Why do you think the situation?
And it is also observed that in last 3-4 days, the president 𝗡𝗢𝗥𝗧𝗏 have changed his stance at least 4 times. So how can we trust? How can we trust them that they are actually trying to solve the problem?
All right. I also have with me Dr. Sunil Kalai, Professor, Tripura University. Dr. Kalai, welcome to Northeast Live. Well, again, why do you think that such a situation arose in the first place? What could be the reason? Things were fine till a year ago, and then we have the controversy. And what is your take? What is your personal take on the entire issue, this Bengali Roman script?
Things were never fine when it comes to the tribal and the languages in Tripura or any part of the world, especially with the indigenous communities. The moment government tried to institutionalize and bring certain standard, there lies the inclusion and exclusion, the composition of certain things and the exclusion of certain unwanted elements, and that is where the politics lies. Now, the issue of language, when it comes to the recognition, we see a lot of politics behind. And we all know that language has its unique features. Every language in the world, whether it is by the Maori in Australia, or in New Zealand, or the Native Americans in US, or the many other indigenous communities' language in India and across Asia. We know that each time a language disappears, one of our civilization dies. The language that we see is not just a language. And when it comes to the characteristics, the genealogy of
So nobody here is talking about Kokborok. Kokborok language is there. It's the usage of script. Nobody here is talking about the language. The language is very much there and recognized.
Yeah, that is where we are coming now. Now, when we talk of any language and recognition, it's a oral language. But now comes when it comes to the writing of the exam. That is where the problem lies. Now, if someone wants to write in Urdu, who stops them? If somebody wants to write in English, who stops them? If somebody wants to write in Bangla, who stops them? But here we can see the vindictive attitude by certain section in society, people who tries to consider themselves to be in power or the position, using the whole network of the Wago bureaucracy coming back. So this is definitely the attitude to suppress.
Okay,
Why can't
I'll come back to you on that.
cooperation-
I'll come back to you on that. I'll go to Mr. Animesh Debbarma again. Mr. Animesh Debbarma, your party, the 𝗡𝗢𝗥𝗧𝗏, is the second largest in Tripura. You are the main opposition force in the state now. How is the communication between the opposition and the government? I'm sure you have raised this issue multiple times, and of course the 𝗡𝗢𝗥𝗧𝗏 has been championing this issue, the issue of Kokborok language, the script. Do you think the government did not really take you seriously on this?
See, if the government was serious on the issue of Roman script and Kokborok language, why would TISF will come on the street and protest? Government was not serious, and I have been telling in my press briefing earlier also that on this issue of Roman script, this is not a political issue. This is an issue which is the issue of everyone. All Kokborok speaking people will get involved in this process, and law and order situation can deteriorate in this state. Why I was telling this? Today we have gone for road blockade and rail blockade. Even in the night, if we continue to do so, if any incident happens, this might turn to something else. So the early the government takes decision on this issue, it would be good for all the people.
So you think
And
what the government did
fortunately,
today, it could have as well done yesterday or day before, and such a situation where rail connectivity, road connectivity came to a standstill, this could have been avoided.
They could have done this a month before even, because we have raised this issue in the assembly. We have explained our position, and we have explained the sentiments of the people, Kokborok speaking people in the assembly, and all ministers were there, all opposition MLAs were there, ruling MLAs were there, the entire government machinery was present there in the house, but government did not take it seriously. And today, after the government took the decision that they will allow both the scripts for Kokborok language, is a good step, and many more things could have happened. People were not able to move from the morning. There were so many patients, they got stuck up because of this road blockade. We 𝗡𝗢𝗥𝗧𝗏, we don't want so many agitations. Government must understand this. We all the time, if you see our track record, we used to alert the government on many issues. Agitation is not only the solution. Both oppositions and the ruling party always can share their views. Because once you do strike, once you go for ban,
So would
it affects the
𝗡𝗢𝗥𝗧𝗏,
business people. It affects the service class people.
okay, would 𝗡𝗢𝗥𝗧𝗏 be
Please.
engaging in further discussions with the government on the issue? The government today has invited the groups, the TSF, the TISF, the opposition to engage in discussions on this issue. Will you now join the discussions with the government as and when that happens?
See, we are always open for any kind of discussion. If we can solve the problems through dialogue, through discussion, then we don't need to hamper the people of Tripura. We don't need to disturb the daily life of Tripura people. There are different classes of people living in Tripura. See, today, by going for this road blockade, thousands of people's life has been affected. So we didn't want that. Government should be very serious on so many other issues, not only for Roman script and Kokborok. The government should address the unemployed youth's problem, the STGT issue. There are so many issues. People who have lost job. Every day you find in Tripura, one organization or the other, they are always busy in doing movement.
All right,
Government must take
if I can quickly
all
get
these situations into seriously they should evaluate.
If I can quickly get Mr. 𝗏𝗂𝗓𝗓, of course, he is the convener of the Joint Movement Committee for Kokborok Language. Mr. 𝗏𝗓𝗓, do you also feel that, probably we are arriving at a situation where we need consensus on which script probably should be used, or do you think that's not necessary? Of course, we cannot have we can have two scripts. We cannot have 4 to 5. Like Dr. Kalai mentioned, why not Urdu, why not Hindi, why not something, why not Devanagari? No, we cannot have multiple scripts for, obviously, for logistical reasons, we cannot have multiple scripts. But do you know, in this kind of a situation, is there a consensus required for Bengali or Roman, or do you think that is not required logistically? If there is will, it is possible to go with both, and that's how it should remain.
Yes. You see, report of two language commission is with us. First one was formed in the year 1990, chaired by Samacharan Tripura. And the second was headed by Dr. Pavitra Sarkar in the year 2004. And both of the report of the both commission clearly indicated that almost all of the Kokborok speakers, including the students and writers, they wanted Roman script to be the script of Kokborok. You can go through the reports. Now, our question is, where the Kokborok speakers, they are in favor of Roman script, why the government is imposing Bengali script over Kokborok? That is point number 1. Point number 2, why Kokborok had been adopted as one of the state official language in the year 1979. The script issue was not spelled out clearly in which script this language will be written. So option was kept open. Now our question is, denying the opinion of the people of the speech community, government should have adopted Roman script as the script for Kokborok, number 1. Number 2. And let us come to today's episode. For last 17 years, both Roman script and Bengali script had been allowed during board exam conducted by TBSC. So this year, why?
This year, why? Yes, this is the question. This is the question that is being asked. Unfortunately, I'm running out of time. But one thing is sure. One thing is for certain, Mr. 𝗏𝗂𝗓𝗓, and also Dr. Sunil Kaloi, there's a lot to discuss. There's a lot to discuss. There's a lot of discussions that needs to be done on this issue. I thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Animesh 𝗏𝗏𝗪, Dr. Kalai. I'm sorry, I'm totally running out of time. But yes, there is a lot of room for discussion, and things need to be sorted out. Yeah, last comments. Yeah, very quickly, 30 seconds. Dr. Kalai.
I didn't say that it should be written in multiple languages. I said if people want to write,
if people want, language, yes. If people want, why not?
Why not?
If people want, why not? Point taken.
Adopt to Roman script. Who are they to stop us from writing from a Roman script? That is my point. And my
point taken. Point taken, sir. Thank you so much, everyone. So the big takeaway is that the protest has been called off, and we hope that discussions will lead to a logical conclusion. As of now, the rail road blockade, the general strike, has been called off in Tripura. The TSF, TISF called off their strike. And yes, there's room for discussion, as Leader of Opposition Animesh 𝗏𝗏𝗪 just mentioned. Let's hope there is amicable solution to the issue.